You are crashing out because you do not let things out. And yes, it is that deep. Now, this is not an easy topic for anybody to do, especially if you are used to letting people have their way. You are so used to people pleasing, sometimes you do not realize that you are doing it. But I've come to that point in my life where I've seen that most times it's just easier to just say, yes, go on. Yes, it doesn't matter to me. Yes, go on and do this. Yes, it doesn't matter to me. Do that. Yes, yes, yes. But learning to say no when it's required may actually save you from that future outburst that just throws away your balance, throws you off course, and just makes everything more difficult for you, more complicated. It just destroys everything because people are saying, is it that deep? What just happened? Is it that deep? But what has happened is those things that have been sitting in you for the longest time, they finally burst out because you can't keep it in any longer. So instead of having that future crash out, why don't you just create a life where you have the balance of saying no when necessary and yes when necessary? And again, this is a topic that also relates to me in the most insane and personal way, and so we are doing this together. I heard someone say that people pleasing is a way of you trying to control the actions of others, and the way they explained it, it just made so much sense to me. You do not know how this other person will regulate their emotions if you say no to that thing they're asking for, and so it's just easier to say yes. So in saying yes, you know the outcome, you know how they would react. Of course they will not have a reaction because you've said yes, so everything is fine with them, and so you just allow them have their way because it's easier. You do not have to regulate what will happen if you say no to them, which usually is them crashing out. So you do not want that from them, so you are trying to control how they react or how their emotions are by you just people pleasing. But then if you are trying to control them not crashing out, but you actually have a crash out, so what's the benefit? So you prefer to displease yourself and please others, like that viral TikTok sound goes. What can you do to maintain the balance, to actually stop people pleasing so you don't have that future catastrophe that is disastrous on both sides, both on your own side and on the side of the people you are looking out for in terms of how they're able to regulate their emotions? These are 3 things that I always tell myself, and that has been helping me in these days that I've thought about my life more serious. One thing I do is to remind myself that nobody leaves this place alive. Nobody leaves this place alive. You are telling yourself, oh, in future I will tell them that this thing they did, I did not like it, or in future I will say no, or in future I will react differently. When something has happened is when you are now in your head thinking about all the ways that you could have said what you needed to say but didn't say, and then you say, okay, next time. So every time is a next time, next time. When you remind yourself that we all leave this place dead, so what's the worst that could happen? I usually tell myself, okay, if I'm saying I will do this thing next time, I'll tell them next time, or I will speak out next time, or I will say no next time. Why not do it now? So if you believe you can do it next time, you can as well do it now. Everybody leaves this place dead, so what's the worst that could happen? What exactly is the worst that could happen if you say no now? That no you want to say in the future, why don't you say it now, since nothing happens at the end of the day apart from all of us leaving this world? So if I actually have to displease you in future, I may as well displease you now for my own benefit, which is a good benefit, not just a selfish one. So that is one way I always rationalize it and get myself to open my mouth to speak. Another thing I do in trying to resolve this problem I have with myself is to think of all the subtle ways that people have put themselves first. These same people that you're always trying to regulate their emotions for, you can think about all the little ways, the little details in which they have put themselves first. Not you, not the emotions you are actually thinking about regulating for them, but themselves. It's not their fault. We are human beings. It's human to always put yourself first. It's not selfishness. So I think of all the ways they put themselves first, and I say, okay, if they are doing this for themselves all the time, why can't I do it for myself? Third and final way I help myself to set boundaries, do what I need to do, speak out, is I remember the age I was yesterday. Yesterday I was just 10. I'm surprised at the age that I am. Who knows what age I will be tomorrow and be so surprised, how did I get to this age? So time is passing by. This is my life, and like that Mel Robinson podcast always says, nobody's coming to save you. This is what there is. This is what it is. So if this is what it is, why don't you make it the best it can be by saying your boundaries? No means no, yes means yes. This is what I'll take, this is what I will not take. If this is all there is, why don't you give it your best shot? So these are the 3 ways that I come through for myself, and it's not as if it's a walk in the park. There are still days where I'm not sure if I should be speaking out or if I should just remain silent. But as you consistently practice showing up for yourself in the best way that you can, I think it gets easier. I hope this topic was helpful. Please give me your own comments on what you think, how you're able to set boundaries, say no where you need to say no, and say yes where you need to say yes. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.